Okay guys, let's to continue with the next process. Your factoring, we are going to factor now the trinomial of the form x2 squared plus bx plus c when a is equal 1. The strategy to find a couple of numbers that multiply is c, and when we adding or subtracting is b. Let's to check our first exercise.
Okay, this is our first exercise of trinomial when the coefficient of the a, which is the coefficient of the x2 square, is equal 1. Don't forget, plus bx plus c is the general form when a is equal 1. Then, first of all, is try to find the GCF of this trinomial. We have three terms, nothing in common with the coefficient. The coefficient is 1, 3, and the constant 54. Nothing in common there. Let's to continue with the procedure. The procedure is transform this trinomial in couple of factors when we determine that we need to find a couple of numbers that when multiply is minus 54, and when we adding or subtracting is, in this case, positive 3. Then my rule for signs is I drop the first sign and copy right here, and my second sign is the product of the first sign by the second one. It says positive with negative, then will be negative right here also, and says drop means that I put the same sign, positive, there. Then I need to find a couple of numbers that multiply is minus 54, and when I adding or subtracting, in this case, is 3. Is 9 times 6. 9 times 6. When I multiply, I get minus 54, and when I adding or subtracting, is positive 3. Then I have my couple of numbers and ready. My factorization is finished. Trinomial factoring in 2. Okay, our second exercise is the trinomial that we have there. We are going to work again when the coefficient of the x2 squared is equal to 1. In this case, is not 1, is 3. But remember the first rule of factoring any polynomial. The first rule is try to find a GCF, a common factor in those terms. In this case, we have a common factor, which is 3. Then we get the number 3 as a common factor of x to the square minus 5x plus 6. If you multiply 3 in distributive property for every of the term, you get exactly the same expression that the original expression, right? Then our problem now is find the couple of factors that define this trinomial in factors. For now, we have the first factor, which is 3. Don't forget that factor. And now we are going to build a couple of factors that started with x and x. My rule is drop the first sign. Let me erase first right here. Drop the first sign, and my second sign is the product. The first got by the second one. Negative with positive will be also negative, and says, okay, what is the couple of numbers that multiply is positive 6 and when I adding or subtracting is minus 5. That is minus 3 and minus 2. Let me change the color if you want. That is there. We have now 3 factors. Remember, first step, factor out. Okay, our next exercise is another trinomial that the form ax2 squared plus bx plus c. In this case, again, is when the coefficient of the x2 squared, a, is equal to 1. Then I'm going to split that trinomial in a couple of parentheses, x and x. My rule is drop my first sign, which is negative, and my second sign will be the product of the first one by the second one. Negative with negative will be positive. Then a couple of numbers that multiply is negative 21, and when I subtract is minus 4. That is 7 and 3. Already we have the couple of factor, which is the result of factoring that trinomial that you see in the screen.